My name is Thomas Reed, but everyone calls me Tom. For most of my life, I'd have told you I was just an ordinary guy, nothing special. But after what happened that summer, I can't say that anymore. I've learned things about the world and myself that I wish I could forget. It started in the summer of 2009. I was 26, broke, and desperate for work. My cousin Jim told me about a security job at the Halstead Industrial Complex. It was one of those sprawling facilities where they used to make something important, steel maybe, or car parts, but it had been half abandoned for years. They're looking for someone to cover the night shift, Jim had said. The pay is decent, and all you've got to do is keep an eye on things. Looking back, I should have asked more questions, like why the job had been open for months or why the last guy quit without giving notice. But I was desperate, so I didn't ask. I showed up for my first shift on a Tuesday night, just before sundown. The air was thick with the smell of oil and rust, and the whole place felt wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it at the time, but something about the complex made my skin crawl. The foreman, a gruff guy named Bill, handed me a flashlight and a ring of keys. Your job's simple, he said. Patrol the east wing every hour, make sure the doors are locked, and call me if you see anything suspicious. Suspicious, I asked, trying to sound casual. Bill shrugged. Vandals, squatters, that kind of thing. I nodded, but I could tell he wasn't telling me the whole story. By the time my shift officially started, the sun had set and the complex was pitch black. I remember thinking how quiet it was, too quiet. No birds, no crickets, not even the hum of distant traffic. Just silence, so thick it felt like it was pressing down on me. My first patrol was uneventful. The east wing was a labyrinth of long, dark hallways lined with empty offices and storage rooms. The floor was covered in a fine layer of dust, and my footsteps echoed like gunshots in the stillness. I told myself it was just an old building, that there was nothing to be afraid of. But every shadow seemed to shift when I wasn't looking, and every creak of the floorboards made my heart race. The second patrol was when I started noticing the noises. At first, it was just faint tapping, like someone lightly knocking on a distant door. I tried to ignore it, chalking it up to the wind or the building settling. But the sound didn't stop. It followed me, growing louder and closer with each step. I stopped in the middle of the hallway, shining my flashlight in every direction. Hello, I called out. My voice sounded small and hollow, swallowed up by the darkness. No answer. Answer. The tapping stopped, and for a moment I thought I'd imagined it. But then I heard something else, a low, guttural growl that sent a shiver down my spine. I spun around, shining my flashlight into the darkness behind me. The beam caught something, a shape, just for a second before it disappeared around the corner. I froze, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. Who's there? I shouted, my voice cracking. Still no answer. I should have called Bill. I should have run. But instead, I followed the shape. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was curiosity, or maybe I just didn't want to admit I was scared. Either way, I crept down the hallway, flashlight trembling in my hand. The growling grew louder, more distinct as I approached the corner. My mouth was dry, and my palms were slick with sweat. When I rounded the corner, there was nothing there, just another empty hallway stretching into the darkness. But I knew I wasn't alone. I could feel it, something watching me, just out of sight, and that was only the